This is the definitive list of the 100 men and women who would defeat a gorilla in a fight. I've assembled a team of the most elite human beings to settle the age-old question of 2025. Who would win in a fight between 100 men and a gorilla? Let's get into it. You'll see here I've devised a multi-wave approach to optimize our chances for success. The team will comprise of the following squadrons: the Martyrs, the Speed Demons, the Outside Shooters, the Protectors, the Attackers, the Hype Men or Motivators, the Coaches, the Negotiators, the Bait or Human Shields, various roles, and the Killers. And you'll see here I've outlined a little strategy about where each of the squadrons will be placed. The Martyrs will be up front, the Speed Demons around the outside, the Outside Shooters, obviously quite far on the outside, being protected by the Protectors. These groups of squadrons will work together, being the Attackers, a hype man, and a coach for each of those sub-squads. Bait will be peppered around the outside. We will have the Negotiators in front of the gorilla, and the various will just be placed at the back, and we'll put them in as and when necessary. And finally, the Killers, who are facing right in front of the gorilla, will come in to deliver the final blow. Now, who's made this roster of elite human beings? Let's go through the list, starting with the Martyrs. This is the opening act. They are the human sandbags. Think about it. The gorilla has its full energy at this point. We don't want to sacrifice our key people. So these brave soldiers will come in first. They will attempt to tire the beast, but ultimately we expect them to meet their demise. So who is on this list? Firstly, Reece Walsh, Queensland captain, certainly won't be missed if he's the first one off the block. I see him trying to dart around the gorilla using that speed, but ultimately gets clocked like he did by Joseph Suaalii in State of Origin last year. Next up, we've got Cameron Munster. Similar line of reasoning as Reece Walsh. Cameron Munster represents another disposable Queensland cockroach. I expect he gets a couple of fens off on the gorilla, but not a lot more. Now, arguably someone slightly less despicable, and that's Draymond Green. This guy works as a sacrificial lamb on so many levels. One of the biggest scumbags in the NBA, and with a proclivity for kicking guys in the nuts. We might need that against the gorilla, but he'll serve a very important purpose, but ultimately won't be missed by anyone. And if you thought the last guy was bad, the next man in the lineup is universally agreed to be someone that we wouldn't mind be eviscerated by the gorilla, and that is Zaza Pachulia. Literally, his purpose in the NBA was to injure guys, all while pretending not to. This guy truly was the worst, and if he does one of those Kawhi Leonard step on the ankles on the gorilla, that's fine, but we don't want any more from this guy. Then from the hardwood to the squared circle, the next member of the Martyrs is Logan Paul. Not a lot of explanation required here, though if the setting of the fight is in a forest, we may need his experience. He's quite familiar being in one. Next on the list is Bruno Fernandes. Unfortunately, flopping and arguing to the ref is not going to do very much for him in this circumstance, so he'll probably be on the ground grabbing his ankle before the gorilla grabs him. Next up on the list is Megan Rapinoe. What's the equivalent of shut up and dribble? Well, it's probably the same, and it's just a poetic ending to her career. Next up, we've got P. Diddy. Maybe he can slip around the gorilla using his baby oil, and that might buy him a few more seconds. Next up, we've got Jackson Mahomes. So anyone who's watched the NFL over the last few years will know what I'm talking about. And finally, if Snake took human form, this would be Golden State Warriors' Kevin Durant. So maybe he can slither his way around the gorilla, but we would all agree that he would be very deserving to be on this martyr list. So next up are the Speed Demons. Their job is to work around the gorilla. We don't want to lose these guys. They're going to come in and out and just tire the gorilla out while it tries to grab at them. The first on this squad to work in the periphery is, of course, IShowSpeed. It's It's in his name, and we've seen him actually be quite athletic in the WWE. Next up, we've got Tyreek Hill. Unfortunately, such a bust for me in fantasy last year, but we know he is the cheater. He can turn on the afterburners if needed. Then we've got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and I'm thinking more like the Roosters version. He can whack his way around the gorilla, making the gorilla grab air. Then we've got a new bolter into the group, someone recently making his presence known on social media, and that is Ashton Hall. So you do some ice baths, get up early, and then do some laps around the gorilla for sure. Then for the same reasons as Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, we've got Benji Marshall, legend of the game, and that sidestep. Then we've got Bron Breakker, so whether it's between the ropes or around the outside of the ring, this man hits top speeds, and if we need a spear later, then he's our guy. Next up, give me MVP Derrick Rose, so whether that's speed, the hop step, the crossover, the gorilla's going to be dizzy looking for this guy. Next up, I've got Mission Impossible Tom Cruise. I mean, he might be the fastest human on the planet. Look at that suit blazer billowing in the wind. It's just pure cinema. Next, I've got juiced up Lance Armstrong. Get this man on a bike and get him a pharmacist, and he'll be doing laps around the gorilla all day long. And finally, on this list, I've got a stem cell hamstring repaired Tom Trbojevic. Let's just fund the research and do some drastic medical procedures to repair this guy's hammy. Because at the moment, it's looking more like string cheese than an actual hamstring. Now, if we think about where we're going to be fighting the gorilla, it's most likely in its natural habitat, the forest. And in which case, I expect there to be some sort of projectiles that we can throw at the gorilla, at the very least, just to distract it or just to annoy it. These could be rocks, these could be branches, flora and fauna. That's why I've got a team of outside shooters that'll be placed away from the gorilla, just lobbing things into it. Now, the people on this list, there's a few of them that are pretty obvious. So we'll start with Steph Curry. Then we've got Kobe. Then we've got Caitlin Clark. Then I've got Game 6 Klay Thompson. Then I've got Tom Brady, of course. Then I've got an arguably much better quarterback, and that's Super Bowl Eli Manning. Then I've got a few others that are a little bit more peculiar. The first is J.R. Smith. And this is not for the accuracy, this is for the volume shooting. Then I've got David from David and Goliath. This one probably makes a lot of sense. Just that one shot could do it for us against the gorilla. Then I've got James Harden, MVP version. That step back, the gorilla, he's just going to be reaching for air. And finally, and this could be our Weapon X, that is Chicago Bears legend, quarterback Jay Cutler. Not for the accuracy, but for the velocity. Because if that one shot hits, whew, we might be in business. Although it is high risk, there's a chance of friendly fire. Now, in order to protect our outside shooters, we've got a number of protectors around the outside. Now, they are some thick bodies that we want to get in between the shooters and the gorilla. Let's see who these protectors are. Firstly, I've got Aaron Donald. Then, of course, I have Zion Williamson. Then I've got Mark Henry. Then I've got the greatest modern prop in rugby league, and that's Payne Haas. We might be saying hasta la vista to the gorilla. Then I've got Rob Gronkowski, of course. Now for some truly thick bodies, I've got Nicki Minaj. Then I've got pre-Ozempic Lizzo. Then I've got Luka Doncic. Nico Williams won't be happy with this, that he's traded to another team. Then I've got pre-Ozempic Ice Spice. And finally, the thickest of them all, I've got BBL Drizzy. Now, getting to business, we're going to need some strong bodies to do majority of the physical work against the gorilla. And this group is probably the most obvious. These are the physical attackers. First up, I've got the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Then we've got Brock Lesnar. We've got Francis Ngannou. We've got Brian Shaw. Then we've got the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Then we've got Mike Tyson. Then we've got Shaq. Then we've got an oiled up Adama Traore. I mean, look at these arms. You don't need this in football, but he's got them. Then we've got Roy Keane. He's just going to be kicking some shins. Then we've got Steven Adams, the strongest man in the NBA right now. Then we've got Rhea Ripley. Then we've got '09 Fui Fui Moi Moi. Then we've got Jade Cargill. Then we've got a coked up John Jones. Then we've got a brawling Isaiah Stewart. Look at this footage. This is terrifying. Then we've got Meta World Peace's elbow. Then we've got the eighth wonder of the world, China. Then we've got Yafeta Paliasina, aka Mr. Effective, for any of you Warriors fans out there. And I'm talking like 2 minutes worth of this. Then we've got four-time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler. Not to be confused with the other Jay Cutler. Then the PG era John Cena. This man was unstoppable. Now, it's not just getting some strong people in the mix. Behind every team of attackers, we've got the hype man. Because without them, it's just 100 men. But with the hype, it's not just 100 men. With the hype, it's belief. Now, who are these people that are going to carry the troops? Well, firstly, it's got to be Barack Obama. Then I've got Tim Tebow. Then David Goggins, of course. Then, if you're looking for something quite scary, it's Craig Bellamy giving you a halftime spray. Then we've got prime Conor McGregor. Then I've got LeVar Ball. Then I've got Jameis Winston. That's a W. Then I've got Gordon Bombay from the Mighty Ducks. Then I've got Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf. And finally, the special one, Jose Mourinho. And sometimes things don't go to plan. That's why you need key strategists or coaches. Someone who's going to be able to think on the fly, make timely substitutions, adjust when there are injuries. They can see opportunities, they can think ahead of the opponent. That's why I've peppered these individuals around to guide the team in case things go sour. So who have I got on this list? Well, firstly, I've got Paul Heyman, someone who's always on the right side up of the numbers. Then I've got Pep Guardiola, so many trophies. Then I've got Bill Belichick, same reasoning. Hoodie. Then I've got the ultimate opportunist, Edge. And if we need a set piece, like a corner or a long throw in, that's pretty much all he's good for, then I've got Mikel Arteta. Okay, when things are going really bad, that's when you need a specialist. This person right here, the negotiator, they've got a way with words. They might be able to reason with the beast. Now, who's on this list? Firstly, unfortunately, it's Cameron Smith. But you got to respect the game. Man finessed referees for years and got away with it. Then you've got Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. Of course, sell me this pen. Then I've got Denzel Washington. I don't know whether it's him or just all the characters that he plays, but I'm just going to say he's sold me, whatever it is. Then it's Vince McMahon, someone who could convince anybody to do a number of things, and unfortunately some bad things as well. And finally, the greatest lawyer of all time, and that's Harvey Specter. Now, in order to protect some of our key people, we might need to give the beast some blood to satisfy its bloodlust. And so we've got some tactical human shields or bait around the periphery. They might be the difference in the split second between protecting a key person. So let's see who these people are. First, I've got Salt Bay, overstayed his welcome, particular egregious behavior at the 2022 World Cup final. Then I've got DJ Khaled. I just don't want to see him shirtless on my social media anymore. Then I've got KSI. I mean, I like him, but for the bands. Then I've got Taylor Swift for... And finally, just as bad as everyone else, it's going to be R. Kelly, of course. Now, before I get into the final group, the closers, the killers, there were 5 people that I wanted on the team, but I couldn't find a particular group that they would sit with. So here they are. Firstly, Don Toliver. Just get him in for the vibes. Then we've got Josh Hart of the New York Knicks. This brings the power of friendship. Then Kanye, of course, for the unpredictability. Then I got Victor Wembanyama, just a freak, and just he might distract the gorilla. And finally, Son Heung-min, because it would be great for him to be part of a winning team. Now, the most important group. People who know how to get the job done, to finish something or someone. I call this my elite squad, and I'll release them at the very end when the beast is at its most vulnerable. Firstly, we got Greg Inglis, someone who has killed New South Wales hopes and dreams way too many times, clutch play after clutch play, and a physical specimen, one of the greatest players to play of all time, and he's from New South Wales. Then I've got Ronnie from Jersey Shore, one-shot Ronnie. If we can recreate his form from 2009 and his one-shot ability, this could be crucial for the defeat of the Gorilla. Speaking of 2009, I've got '09 Randy Orton. He was a complete menace to society and a must for this team. Then I've got Chris Brown, someone with experience with hand-to-hand combat. We need him to find that dog in him, albeit on a bigger opponent, and bring his experience to the table. Then I've got O.J. Simpson, a veteran of the game, and literally got away with it. Gloves optional. Then I've got Ray Lewis. Double homicide, gets brushed over, plus the intensity he played with each and every game in the NFL, deserving of his spot in this elite squad. Then I've got Antonio Brown. The CTE may have given him superpowers, who knows? But Mans was willing to kick a punter mid-game. I wonder what kind of arsenal he could bring to the fight with the Gorilla. Now we've got a bolter to the squad, but someone with recent experience, and that's Luigi Mangione. Albeit with a weapon. The question is, can he do it with his bare hands? We'll see how he performs under these different circumstances. Then I've got Chris Benoit. Not only can the man wrestle and take down the gorilla himself with his bare hands, but he can get the job done, if you know what I mean. Arguably the captain of this elite unit. Finally, the dude who shot Harambe. Not that we can use guns here, but he knows what it takes to get the job done against this particular opponent. His whereabouts are unknown, and we hope to hear about his experience of looking in the eyes of an innocent beast taking its life. R.I.P. Harambe. Gone too soon. Who did I miss out from this list? Tell me who was snubbed in the comment section below, or otherwise if you agree with this elite squadron to settle the age-old question of 100 men that can defeat a gorilla.